What's up, guys? So today it's going to be more than just your standard montage opening and then discussion, because I think we need to talk about everything. I want to show you how I'm doing this. I just want to share this stuff with you because I think it's awesome. What am I even doing up here? Well, I heard this guy eject, so now I'm up here. Down to the last second. Oof, that was a little bit tight, but I love that about Titanfall. There's all these different scenarios. Like, how often do you find yourself in a fight like that? And as soon as he saw me, I'm like, no, I need an extra good dodge, and I dropped down the hole instead, which I thought was really cool. Oh, god damn it. If you're playing against me, phase shift is probably a good idea these days. Too bad it doesn't have two, eh? Alright, check this 180. It's like... If you skateboard, you know that sound. The sound of crispiness. Well, this guy got the best of me, I guess, right? Fresh new Titan with a battery lost. I'm cool with that. I've been working on a few new things. You guys are gonna like this trick. I still gotta pull it off, but I think once I pull it off a couple of times, I'm gonna be able to do it a little bit more consistent. So I'm gonna have a lot more clips for me. You guys have probably seen the frequency of my channel uploads go up because I'm just, I'm gonna be sharing full games with you now. I'm gonna be sharing with you these cuts, and then I'm also gonna be teaching you guys some stuff because I want you guys all to enjoy this game as much as I do. And I think to enjoy any game, you gotta be somewhat competent in it. You have to know what's able to be done. Oh, I can't wait for Smash. I'm gonna relearn everything. It's gonna be a good time. This is more impromptu stuff. This guy's up here. Alright, I gotta get up here. Sweet. And I'm like, I'm only getting one shot at this, so I better go for the head. And everything goes according to the simulation. The perp is not even moving, just like the cardboard cutout. You know what the real trick to getting these is? Being close enough to actually grab them. Because being close to a Titan when they're ejecting, like, why are you that close to them to begin with? Like, unless you have position from the top, you're going to be chasing them, and you have to be ready to also get out. That's why usually I like to have two grapples. What I really liked about that last grab was like the Dr. Octopus thing over the beams. And one of the things you do need to know if you're going to be doing this, you need to engage it and disengage your hook really fast, because every time you miss, if you're able to retract it as soon as you notice that you're going to miss, it means that you can take your next shot faster, and that just helps you, right? Like, everybody misses, so you get multiple chances if you're quick enough with your grapple. Plus, you're going to need it if you're going to be scaling walls and doing all those tricks like that. So all that means is that you're doing a quick double tap, and then you space it accordingly. If you are somebody that scales walls with your grappling hook by spamming it, you may have noticed this weird glitch where the hook just will not grab the wall when you shoot it into it really fast, even though you're right in front of it, in which case you end up having to space them. And that's just one of those things that you may notice the more you do things like this, and the faster you recognize it, again, the faster that you can fix, well, whatever the problem happens to be. For example, do you see that sign right there? I can't tell you how many times my hook has grabbed a building, but my trajectory puts me past that sign, and then it ends up getting tangled up with it, and you have like a momentary window where you can still use the hook normally until it gets a weird pullback or you lose your momentum. And that just comes from experience, and you kind of feel it even in your movement, and there does seem to be a feedback that you get as you start losing your momentum with the grappling hook, or it gets tied up on something or somebody. You guys should try skipping along on the ground, and every time you need to make a turn, you just put out your grappling hook like the Batman car does in the original Batman movie. And I'm not talking about Adam West. I don't count that one. But you're pretty much Tokyo drifting, alright? It feels awesome, it's good practice, and you'd be surprised how long you can keep that up because you're using the grappling hook, like, I mean a very short distance. You're just using it to flick you, and you have your double jumps. You're just bunny hopping. It's faster, it's stylish, and you can use it to make ultra tight turns that'll throw people off. So that's what these videos are going to be all about. It's just going to be mobility stuff, grapple tricks. I'm going to try to show you guys what I've been working on. Hopefully I get it down within the next week, and then I'm going to share it with you guys, and then we're going to keep doing a few full games. We're going to go back to Scorch. I already have something for Ion, and then we're doing a couple of builds. I think I'm going to share with you guys a Cold War game, maybe in the next couple days actually, and we're just going to keep it going from there. And don't worry, we have not forgotten about the central theme of this video right now. So as soon as we're done whittling this dude down, we are going up into the sky. So let's take a closer look at how this works. Alright, he's got nuclear ejects. He's definitely going to be higher than me. So I'm already looking up. What's going to make the difference in the height after that is how well he times out his second jump and how well you time out yours. Does he even use it right away? Some people wait until they're already falling. So all these things kind of play a part into it. Now the good thing about the grappling hook is that it helps you correct for all those little changes that can happen. When I'm trying to do it with stim, which I did manage to do, I've done it a couple times, but I don't have nearly the same amount of control. After that, I'm really depending on a really good airstrafe, and I'm depending that they're like not gonna change their direction at all because I'm pretty limited once I've gone up on how much movement I can do. He almost got away. And I think this is how it started for me. It was like, okay, as soon as they go up, I go up. I'm like, why am I waiting for them down here? I also typically used an SMG, so I didn't have the range to shoot them from down below. Usually you have to wait a little bit on SMGs. Plus, I don't like engaging from the bottom, to be honest. I feel like it's just an easy way to get grenaded. Remember when I talked about people grenading and grenading from on top? There's a window, and most people always follow that rule because any earlier and you're guessing where they're going to be. So usually that's when you'll end up moving to dodge grenades or just dodge general attacks. It's funny how many things are like, some players are always the same, some players are just crafty. The other day I was like on with my laser, like Ion, like if you ejected I was cross mapping you. And some dude, like he was losing this fight and I'm like, well, time to get lasered, and he got out of his Titan, like he just ran off, like he jumped out and then I think he stemmed away or phase shift, and I'm like, yep. I'm like, good play, man. He read the situation correctly. And just listening to myself say this, I'm like, why didn't I think about that myself? Like, the thing is, it's so fun to eject, and I love ejecting because it opens up all these avenues of grenading people from on top, landing on people, you know, going up for people, all that stuff. But really, sometimes I don't think it actually makes sense to eject, and even just saying it, I'm like, god damn it, no, I'm definitely gonna eject, this is way too much fun. But really, there's sometimes where you know that you're about to eject and you're like, man, this Northstormer, you get me, this Ion, this Tone, you know, any of them, and you're looking at them and you're like, why am I challenging this? You're like, no, you could have just stepped out of your Titan and been like, okay, I admit defeat, you're probably gonna gun me down. I'm gonna show you guys mistakes after this. You guys are like seeing all these successes, but I want you guys to see some of the mistakes because that's what taught me what makes these kind of grapples possible and what kind of things can screw you. So it's good to have those things for reference. So that's what we're gonna be talking about in the remainder of the video. Now it's more so to show you guys how you guys can do this yourselves. Who can tell me why I fell into the pit in the last clip? Well, for those of you who don't know, there is a penalty to grappling onto things that you shouldn't be grappling onto. Anything that moves like grunts, pilots, dropships, titans, all these things take up a charge. A complete charge every time you grab them. So if you're going to grapple one of these things, you need to make it count. If not, you're going to deplete one complete charge regardless of if you let go right away. That's usually one of the tricks you use to conserve your charge, but when you do one of these things, you lose it. So that is something that you're going to want to save up 2 charges if you are going to be planning on maneuvering on one of these structures, because you typically want to have a follow-up. Anything else, you know, you can cut it short, but not when you do one of these moves. Alright, this is where the fun starts. I'm like, this is going to be great. Where is he? Where is he? Okay, I'm like, I need to redirect myself. I have 2 grapples. 1, 2. God damn it, it skipped right off of him. And this is just what happens sometimes when people are using stim or they start getting that speed boost as they start descending. That's why you want to still kill them where you would normally kill them when they have a gun. Usually when they get to the apex and they start losing momentum. That's why this move is, of course, harder to do against people that are strafe ejecting. Because then that means that you have to strafe eject and also know which direction they're going to go to, which is going to be a little bit tough. And by a little bit, I mean a lotta. And I've been chasing people now for, what, about a week, maybe 2, since I've started doing this and starting to do it more and more frequent. And there are going to be a lot of misses, but I think all of them are slightly more learning experience. I'm trying to judge out, oh, how can I think one of the things I'm trying to work on now is more so how I'm timing out my double jump out of the eject to kind of direct myself. I think that makes a big difference, or just trying to figure out how you can match your momentums. Plus, what I like doing, which is kind of part of the trick that I'm putting together, is that you let go of the grapple once you grab them to either take out your gun and you just use it for a tug and then just shoot them. So it's more of a combo. It's a little bit harder to do, but I think it looks pretty stylish. That's also the same concept as when people do the grab with your grapple and then you end up punching them. You actually want to let go of them so you can activate your punch even earlier. You don't want to depend on the auto punch that happens with the grappling hook. By then it's too late for experienced people, and that's one of the parts where I still get lazy and I'm like, no, I need to get more into that. I should have just gone for the kick. I tried to time them both out, but again, he did go through, and the auto aim with the melee didn't quite kick in there. But you can still see how the concept kind of works, right? You see them go up and then you have to direct your slingshot, and it's so cool to because it forces you into these weird scenarios. Like I don't do the corkscrew as much as I used to, but trust me, I love doing it. The corkscrew is one of those things that I'm forced into because I don't know which way they're going, so I'm instantly trying to like react. So sometimes I'm like caught in between corkscrews and I'm like going back and forth between it as they're turning in the air, and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to hit, and that's how I try to maneuver myself. And it's challenging, plus you just kind of learn more about the grappling hook because you're not dictating now where you're going, you're letting the other player. And have you ever chased somebody in Titanfall? It really tests your mobility. It tests you all around. It's something that I think you guys should try. If you haven't, just try to chase somebody for a while, and you're gonna notice if you have good mobility or poor mobility. Or insane mobility if you're able to just trace them. You ever just like hide behind a guy as they're moving and you're like, I'm your shadow? You're like, you're so inside their head that you're like a step ahead of them. It's like one of those corny kung fu movies where the master's like, where's the master? And it turns out he's been behind them the whole time. That brings us to the end of this episode. If you're still here, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. Again, thank you for joining me. Paper, cut to you, and I'll see you guys next time I grab ya.